Yeah. I didn't put our event on the fucking topics. That's mad funny. Imagine us not talking about the event.
But like,
that's the first thing we talk about. That's the first thing we talk about.
Glad you remember though.
Yeah, imagine we just like, oh, and we have an event. Like,
oh, by the way.
Right. All right. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Vino Conversations, episode 8. And today I'm joined by
Cassidy Janae.
All the way from Philly. You know what I'm saying? Where are you from in Philly, actually?
Northeast
Philly. Okay. Why are you saying it like that?
Because it's funny. Whenever I tell people I'm from Philly, they're like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "I am," and I tell them what
you're not from Philly.
No.
Like, there's nothing about you that's like Philly specific, but there's nothing about you that would tell me you're not. Like, I don't know. You could be from anywhere. I feel like
maybe by the way I talk, sometimes people are like, "Are you from Jersey?" I'm like, "I'm not from Jersey."
Oh, Jersey. That's
I don't know. I guess because Northeast is not. I don't know. Northeast is more intermixed race-wise.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't take it in a bad way, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. That's mad funny. Wouldn't have thought that. But as always, with Vino Conversations, we start off with a cheers, and then we're going to do a little bit of a wine tasting. So just let me know what you're tasting. Whatever you say is correct. Okay. But it's just so we get better at, describing our wines. Today we have we got here, Le Mille, I think. I speak a little French. Sounded official, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bianco Toscana. So this would actually be from Italy. So it's a French name, but Italian wine, a white wine. Okay. I know that you said you like sweet wines, but we got Bryson Tiller is one of your favorite artists.
Yes.
And you already said about Stella Rose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, girl, that ain't wine. All right, well, cheers.
All right, cheers.
Give it a taste. Yeah, we don't have the high budget glasses just yet, so it's gonna be kind of hard to swirl, but smooth.
It is. It's not that bad actually. Like, I can do this. When I told you, I was like, not too dry, but this is good. Yeah. Like, I could do that. Yeah.
For sure. What are you tasting?
I feel like I try it again.
Yeah.
It tastes like apple a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like I taste
a little appley.
A little
citrus.
Appley. Yes.
It's pretty crisp, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is. But it's like good on the taste buds where it's not like, I gotta put that down. You know what I mean?
It's light too. Because, like, for instance, the one white wine, I like most white wines, I think they're easy to drink, but the one I don't like is Chardonnay, which has like a buttery texture to it. Okay. And I feel like a white wine is supposed to be kind of smooth and light, and it has like this heaviness that I don't want from white wine. That comparatively, I feel like fits better on a red, of course.
I'm not like, I love wine, but I'm not like well versed in wine.
Yeah.
So you're talking,
it takes
I'm
time.
Like, maybe, I have to try it again.
If you had them side by side, you would notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Chardonnay, but
I don't know if I've had that, but
yeah, it's decent though. What is your go-to wine?
My go-to, No.
Okay.
No. That is so watered down wine. I can't do that. I like Sutterhome. I do the sweet red.
Okay.
I do like Stella Rosa. I'm sorry. I do like it. Y'all don't hate on me in the comments.
Stella Rosa is crazy, bro.
I like it. But like I said, I haven't done enough wine tasting.
Okay.
I kind of stick to what I like.
You're a little younger too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm a little bit younger.
I mean, I'm 27 and they call me a baby. So you're 23?
23. Yeah, I do.
I was like, she's really 23, bro. That's nuts.
Yeah. I embrace it though. It's okay.
Yeah, no, of course.
Cool. It's cool. But I do want to do more wine tasting now. It's fall now, so I feel like I kind of have to.
Absolutely.
But I'm trying to, you could put me on.
Yeah, of course.
Wines.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of wine, of course, we do have Vino Vriday coming to Philly, and I will be partnering with Cassidy here for the first part of the event. So it's going to be at Indie Hall from 7 to 10 p.m. And she'll be setting up the area as a gallery space to display your amazing photography. And we're going to talk about your photography journey, as well as selling prints, right?
Selling prints also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire. Wine will be provided for all guests. So once you're in there with your ticket, there will be no purchasing of the beverages. We got you covered. Got DJs playing the usual, Vino Vriday music, New Age R&B, Afrobeat, West Coast, and much more. And some black-owned Ampere wines specifically will be there too. So yeah, Philly, definitely pop out. After that, then we really turning up at the Winston main room. That'll be 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. More DJs, more, that's going to be like the full-on party vibes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We got Nashira and Wonelli for the spot as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a good one.
We've been planning this for some months now.
Buy these damn tickets so it's a good time.
Yeah.
For sure. Excited for that. So, as I mentioned, you are a photographer. You do a whole bunch of stuff within it. Like, just tell us a little bit about your journey and what that's been for you.
Let's see. I feel like I don't have a specific come up journey as a photographer. I feel like a lot of photographers have that, like, I just started when I did. I think I just kind of always liked taking photos. I've always was that friend that was like, oh my God, Cass, take my pictures. And then, and they kind of went from there. And I think during the pandemic, like, I picked up my camera literally because there was nothing else to do.
Type shit.
And it kind of just went from there. You know, I got friends together, started taking
Right.
pictures of them, and then clients started to slowly roll in. My business is still growing. It's not a full-time thing yet, you know, but I've definitely made a decent amount of money from doing photography.
Talk your shit. Let's go.
You know, you just gotta put yourself out there, and I did that. Like, I sometimes, even now, I go out and I talk to strangers. Yeah, I was gonna take their pictures.
How was that? Like when you, because I used to live in Harlem specifically. I feel like I saw so much cool local, just like New York City shit going on. Especially like the outside barbershops and things of that nature. But I never asked people like to take the photo. I feel like, damn, I don't want to intrude.
No, why not?
I don't know. It felt intrusive. So how do you do it? And how does it not come across as like, why are you trying to photograph me?
I feel like in a way, because I'm a woman, it might be I might have more of an advantage in that way.
This nigga with the feds, like, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, I promise I'm not with the 12. Like,
exactly. But I would say, I mean, I can't lie and say I'm not dying inside when I go to ask people. Like, my anxiety is like through the roof because you never know how people are going to respond. But most occasions, people are like, yeah, sure. Like, they're a little bit hesitant. They're like, okay. But I usually explain, I'm a photographer. I do street photography. Sometimes I show them my page, but I kind of just had to just start talking. Yeah. You know?
I guess it can be kind of flattering too. Yeah. Like they're the subject.
They're like, me? I'm like, yeah, you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then usually I point out what I like about them, like what caught my eye. Like earlier.
So specific. Not just like, I'm trying to have a photo of you.
Exactly. Right. Like, this is kind of weird. Like earlier, there was a girl I stopped, black girl with a beautiful fro. Yeah. And I stopped her. I was like, your hair is so pretty. Can I take your photo? And she was like, yeah, sure. Like, you know, it just flows.
Got you. So talking about like your photography style and everything, how would you describe your work?
I would say it's very minimal, simplistic. Okay. I feel like I tend to capture the Black culture, Black aesthetic, Black fashion, anything having to do with capturing the essence of Black people in their rawest form. So that's why I love street photography so much, because it's not planned. You kind of just see something and you take the photo and you kind of tell a story like that. Or if it is a planned shoot, usually I like to do portraiture, so very up-close shots of people's facial structures and stuff like that. Like, I don't care to do, I mean, I do. I don't care to do concept shoots as much. I like to kind of go into a shoot and just go with the flow.
Oh, that vibe too. Okay, I got you.
Like, just kind of like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but like, I'll figure it out.
We'll make some magic.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
a freestyler. You don't write your rhymes down. You freestyle on mic.
Exactly.
Got you.
Like, same with street photography. If I do have a shoot that I quote unquote plan, I never have a set location for a client. I just tell them, I don't know. I figure it out as I go, and I see a thing and I like it, and then usually it comes out better.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool. So you said you kind of always had an attachment to a camera. Did you grow up with like an actual camera, or was that not until 2020 that you really got into like formal photography?
I did have a camera that I'm still scraping my brain to find it somewhere in my room because I want it. It's one of the little digital, I think, Nikon cameras. Oh, yeah. That, people now buy off of eBay or Amazon because they want
Those are really popular now.
They are. And because I can't find mine. And I know crazy. I have it in my room somewhere, but I started with that, and then I got like a little, the Polaroid cameras that print out the photos.
Oh, of course. I got that shit from Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah, on like Chestnut or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. My first one stopped working because the batteries exploded inside. The batteries
crazy.
Exploded in it. Yeah.
Did you like feel it like it shook up?
No,
I just looked and the powder
was like crusty inside. Like I went to use it one day and it wasn't working, and I opened it and the batteries were just
that's crazy
done. And I was like, okay,
that's OD.
So I have a new one now, but
yeah, got you. That's fire. Do you like Polaroids? Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I always fucked up with them. I feel like the lighting I didn't get correctly, then like to shake it up. I don't know. I feel like everybody lied about how to actually use the Polaroid.
I've heard to not shake it.
Yeah, now, because then I went, so like someone who does like formal Polaroids, she's like, no, don't shake it. Don't hide the lighting.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Okay, my bad. I used to stuff that shit in my pocket and not even realize.
Yeah, maybe it messes up the color. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I heard that, so I just stopped doing it. I just I put it down and let it do its thing.
Yeah. You also shoot a little bit of film?
I do.
Okay, what kind of camera you got?
I have two. So I have a point and shoot and a regular 35mm Canon AE1 program. And then my point and shoot is an Olympus AF1. Both I got off eBay. Same. And I feel people are kind of like leery about buying stuff off of eBay. Like cameras. But they're both in excellent condition.
Especially for film too, because that's just kind of the culture of film. Like nobody's producing new ones anyways. You kind of have to get it off of an eBay or actually I got one off of like cutecameras.com, which is a hilarious name.
Cute Cameras.
But they gave me, I got my Pentax, so it came in a cute little box, whatever. I don't know if I love the name, but it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's always gonna be secondhand. So if you're interested in film photography, like don't be nervous. I think
I tell people all the time, like just go on eBay. You gotta kind of have to do your browsing to see like the condition, because sometimes they might not say it. You got to kind of scroll and see them like have the fine print of 100%. Like not in good condition. So both of them work perfectly fine. For sure. Yeah.
Big shout out to the Japanese people out there with their Olympus Muju zooms, because they somehow ship them to me in like a day. I don't know how I get them so fast.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
So I have it with me.
Oh, do you?
If I
Let's see that. Let's see that. Pull it up real quick. I have my one film camera with me.
Alrighty. So let's not spill. Yeah, I got my Olympus Muju Zoom 105, just like this. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The Muju, I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly. Also, they use different like letters and everything, but I believe it's called Muju or Mju, whatever it is. That's like the Japanese version of it. Okay. One thing I like about it is just like the gold accents are mad nice. I think it's like a really cool tone. Actually. And these have just been the best film photos I've ever taken, for sure. Because I had the original American like super zoom, I think it is. And I think I also had an AF one maybe, but this just like the crispness, the auto focus, always being on.
That's what you shoot all your events on?
Now, yeah, I got this in maybe April. And when I got that first rollback from this party I did, I was like, nah, my photography just level. Like it's crazy.
I know, because when I look at your photos, I wouldn't think they were off of a point and shoot. Like, so when you told me, when I asked you what camera that you're using,
straight point and shoot.
I was like,
I don't edit
you're lying. No, you're not.
I love it because I'm literally in the spot with that little ass camera, taking the portraits, DJ, everything, and like it just captures the vibe.
And you do no editing afterwards?
Nothing. The only time I edit a tiny bit is in a smoky party. It's really hazy, and sometimes the film, it's like the flash like captures the fog.
I know what you mean.
Really heavily. That's the only problem with film for like smoky places. But on Lightroom, you can just like dehaze.
Yep.
And then sometimes that makes it too blue, so I just adjust those colors. Other than like a super smoky room, I don't touch anything.
Yeah.
So shout out to Pro Image Photo on 72nd and 96. They develop crazy quality and they develop super fast.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, so that shit just comes out perfectly every time. Because I did hear technically when they're developing it, like they're kind of not choosing the colors, but like they have like you can technically say, I don't know if they let you at this specific place, but in developing film, you could be like, oh, I want it to have like bluer tones, and they can develop it to do that. But theirs just hit like such a perfect natural, it comes out just perfect.
Perfect. I've heard that like when you develop film, like the lab kind of, I guess they eyeball it too based on how the film look and what they think might look better. So I've heard that too. Because sometimes I've had film come back a little bit yellower than I like.
Oh, really?
And when I do edit, I like mine kind of between bluish yellow. I don't like too far on the extreme. So I do edit my film photos because it doesn't always come out color-wise.
Okay, that's fair too.
So I edit to balance out more of my look, my style.
Makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense, yeah. One thing I like about film to me is just like, because I have less shots, every shot just feels like such a moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like digitally, it can look, well, first off, you don't edit digital, it's like super bland.
Oh my gosh.
Like that shit is the whack. Like if you don't edit your digital
don't
photos,
ask your photographer for RAWs.
RAWs is great. You know what I mean? Like, and so even we have the trend now of like the little digi camera, which is like the new trend after film kind of became trendy. Yeah. But I'm just like, that shit looks mad bland. I get that it's cute and it's small and it's like kind of out of focus and it's like kind of like a nightlife cute things, but it's like, I don't really fuck with it.
Yeah. I guess to each his own, like personal.
Yeah, of course.
I like that purposeful. It's supposed to be blurry. It's supposed to not look good.
Yeah, I do like that part too. Yeah, but no, I think that's what gravitated me to film. I just remember the first time I ever seen these film shots is like everything just feels like a moment. It just feels like a singular shot because I had to like, rather than just you can't.
Yeah, I don't like that when I take pictures. I don't know. That's why I like film because you have to be intentional about the shots and like. You have to sit there and make sure like everything looks good versus digital. You're kind of just mindlessly shooting. And I feel the part of photography I like is being creative and storytelling.
And the intention of
versus
it too.
Just click. Okay.
Yeah. No,
copy and paste edits and then boom.
Nah, for sure. I'm just going to slide this over here.
No, you good.
Give myself a little more space. be hot under these lights and everything.
No, yeah, that's how I feel in the studio too. I'm just sweating. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah. No, definitely. But no, speaking of course of your photography career, I guess how do you see that progressing into eventually going full time? I know that's a goal of yours.
It is a goal. So ideally, I would love to shoot. If I could just make money solely doing street photography, I would love to do that. I know some photographers get to that point where they're known enough on social media where they can just do street photography and people find them, they reach out to them for certain things. Oh, wow. I would love to get to that point.
Yeah.
But I would love to do like I love portraits. I love capturing people. As far as I don't like I used to want to do like fashion photography, like runway editorial type of things, but I want to do more, I guess, stuff with artists, as far as maybe doing cover art or like BTS, stuff that kind of tells a story.
Artists like singers?
Singers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's my goal with that. Stuff working with brands, clothing brands, anything that has to do with culture, street fashion, that kind of thing. Yeah.
For sure. That's fire. And what is your full-time job right now?
I do product photography.
So you're a full-time photographer, but are looking to make your creative. Yeah. Yep. Do you have any? I know it's hard to put a date on like going full-time into the journey, but like, do you have a time frame when you're like, this is my cutoff? Because I did that for myself for 2025. I was like, I'm going full-time into all my soccer media stuff, the Vino, everything. Like
that's kind of the same thing for me. Is end of 2024, early 2025 is my deadline for myself.
Oh, it is?
Too, also.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. I'm like, I'm tired of working a 9 to 5. It drains me creatively, physically, like mentally. I'm at work and it kind of just, I feel so unfulfilled because even though I'm in my line of work, I'm not doing ideally what I want to do because I'd rather capture people versus items, you know? So that's my goal for myself. Full-time entrepreneur, photographer, author also.
I was just, look at that segue, yo. You were natural. So, I mean, tell us about your book. First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I remember we were at the La Colombe in Fishtown. You're talking about, no, I need to lock in. I'm going to really drop this thing this fall. And like, you're dropping the book. So congratulations.
It is. We talked about that in July. And I remember we set a date for Vino. And I was like, you know what? Let's just push it. Maybe because I remember you reached out saying, if we could push it a week or not. And I said, let's push it a week. Give myself the extra time.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Yeah. That extra time was needed to get that out. So I hopefully will have it at our event on Friday.
Oh, sweet. Oh, I didn't even know.
Start selling it then before the release date. So it's kind of like a pre-order.
Oh, fire. I didn't even know that. Okay. I was going to ask about that too. Fire.
Yep. If the shipment comes on time.
Yeah, it happens.
It'd be like that. It happens. But yeah, full-time author. That's also my goal for myself.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for
that. Of course.
I do have it with me, but it's not next to me right now.
You want to go grab it?
I can grab it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. It was creepy, but it was like, I don't know how I feel about it.
You didn't like it?
I did like it, but it was like, it was disturbing.
No, definitely disturbing.
The ending was strange, but
Yeah. I need to low key not rewatch it because I'm about to go to that shit after this. But I don't even know. Is it on streaming? It is on Netflix. Might throw that shit on and get the last 20 minutes. I forgot how it ended.
The girl she went to the cabin, and was it her brother or her boyfriend or someone? Somebody came, and they ended up getting a smile, and I think she died. And the cabin exploded.
Some shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, man. Go watch Smile too, man. If you are trying to be part of this spooky season.
Yeah.
Tap in. You know what I'm saying? But your book, let's see it. Let's talk about it.
My book, I got to put this down. It is called For the Lover Girl. So if you're a lover girl, tap in. Even a lover boy. I mean, I've heard some men tell me like, yo, that hit. Like that kind of resonated. So For the Lover Girls will be available on Amazon. Also on my website November 1st. 111. Very intentional for me.
Oh, fire.
Very intentional for me. Yeah. So 111, if that's something that resonates with you also, that's probably your sign to buy this. But it's, how to explain it? It's a poetry, free verse type writing book. Also has journaling prompts inside. I can give you a little glimpse,
of course.
You know?
Nah, go crazy.
It has
put us on.
Pages where you can also write. So if you're a journaling girly, you got those in there. You got some affirmations in here. And the poems that might hit home. So, yeah.
That's fire.
Created the cover myself. Wrote it myself.
Let me see the cover real quick.
Let me see the cover.
Yeah, actually, I'll hold it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Is that a self-hug?
I don't know. It was just something I saw, and I liked it. It just fit the vibe.
Yeah. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
With a collection from the soul, or a collection from the soul, Cassidy Janae. This is super tough.
Thank you.
This is super, super tough. I mean, what kind of content can people expect to read through the poetry, the types of affirmations? And shit, what inspired it too?
What inspired it?
Yeah.
Oh, let's grab a sip.
No,
you know, heartbreak. You know, that's how that goes. I feel like so backstory. I've always been a writer. I wanted to go to high school for writing. There's a school called Kappa in Philly that I wanted to go to be a creative writer. Yeah. I didn't get in. So then I went to high school elsewhere, and I feel like I kind of got out of my writing when that happened. Maybe it was a subconscious thing, like I felt discouraged. I don't know. I just got out of it for a while. Here and there I would write, I would journal, but it just I didn't feel connected to it. Like I just didn't want to anymore. And then just fast forward to earlier this year, I just kind of got back into it from situations with people, emotions. Like I said, heartbreak is really what inspired this. And heartbreak produced a book, you know?
For sure.
But I never used to like poetry, which is a funny thing. I hated it in school because I feel like we were so set on Shakespeare.
Yeah, and it was mad old and like traditional, and it wasn't, I mean, rap's poetry, to be honest, but they didn't show that. Yeah. They didn't talk about that.
You know? But I'm like, Shakespeare, like, it felt too structured. Like, I feel like they forced how you should write. Like, you had to be specific with your word
count and all
and syllables, where I'm like, writing is supposed to be expressive. It shouldn't be so structured. But, you know, it was for a grade. So I think that's why I hated poetry, and I was a creative writer. But now, I don't know if I want to write a full story. You know?
Because this isn't a story or fictional or anything like that.
It's just individual poems, just like I said.
So you can flip through it. Necessarily. You know, it's not like a beginning and end sort of vibe.
Not at all.
Gotcha. That's really cool too.
And I thought about making it like a beginning to end, like lining them up to flow, but honestly I didn't feel like that would be best, just because I wish everything kind of was just from a different place, different emotion, that I don't think there was much of a structure, you know, and I kind of wanted to just be expression and just you know, not too structured,
more like a playlist than an album, you could say.
Good
little analogy.
Yes, exactly.
Fire. I mean, so for anybody who wants to become an author for the first time, any like general tips or anything within the process that you'd want to talk about? Because I'm sure there's a lot of questions that people have.
General tips. It's very cliche, but just write. Like, I think people get stuck on the process of, oh my God, like, I don't know what to write. I don't know how to do the process of publishing. I'm doing it self-published. I'm not going the traditional route just yet. Because I feel like traditionally, like, you don't have as much creative freedom over it because you have a third person telling you
it's like a label.
What to take out.
Not me with all the music analogies, but no,
like but I mean, it flows. It works with it. You know, like, I don't want that. I want it to be able to have a hands-on with my process. But really just write. Like, if I had to block out the part where I thought about the process of getting it published in a physical form, where I just kind of tapped into myself, emotions, and just started writing. And then at some point I had enough to fill a book. And it just went from there. And then you just step by step.
Got you. And then like for the printing process and actually making it a physical book, aside from just like your thoughts being out there, any tips on that? Things that people might not know? Because I'm sure there's a lot of trial and error.
Oh my gosh, give yourself enough time.
Okay.
My release date got pushed back a month because I thought I would have everything done in enough time, and it wasn't so much that it was on my end. It was on the end of the distribution of printing and stuff like that. That I'm like, because October 11th was my original release date. Now November 1st is being pushed back almost a month. So I'm like, give yourself enough time. Don't rush it. I feel like I think that was my mentality of like, I was so eager to have it out that I didn't think too much about everything else that would like maybe affect it. So when it got to the point where we were probably 3 weeks out from October 11th, and I didn't even have my physical copy in my hand. Like, everything wasn't finalized. I was like, okay, Cass, it's cool. Like, you know, just push it back. And then it kind of fell on to 111 being my release date. And that number, it's also in the book as why that was a number that has kind of resonated. My goodness gracious.
You good?
I'm good. That has resonated with me.
Okay.
Throughout the writing process. So I mentioned it in the back of the book why I ended it on 111 pages.
Wow.
Also,
intentional.
And then unintentionally being pushed to 111.
And what is the significance, or is it like kind of secretive? Like, you got to read it.
Not secretive, but just I feel like earlier this year because I started To the Girls That Need It is my
just about to bring that
writing
up too.
platform where on Instagram. So To the Girls That Need It, where I write all my poetry, all my writing and stuff. I started that in April, and I think around that time there was just things happening where I feel like I was called to like tap into my intuition, and 111 is a number that kind of is a number that makes you think about tapping into your intuition and like change and things like that. Yeah. And I think I was in a place where I was, that battle of trusting yourself to make decisions, that 111 was coming up everywhere. Oh, like really? I'd be driving and someone's license plate had it. I was actually
that's crazy.
In New York in April, and this was the time when I started seeing 111 everywhere I was when I was here. I don't know if my mind was like looking for it, but I just kind of found it and I took note of that. Too. Yeah. And then as I started writing this and dealing with other situations and the writing process, that number was still very precedent. Cool. And it's funny. So this is the final copy. Yeah. When I got my they call it like a proof copy, which is just kind of see everything looks good. They have a barcode in the back of it. And in the barcode, there was a consecutive 111 in it. Wow. And I was like, you know what? This just makes sense. So, it's more of a personal thing. But I guess everyone kind of, I don't know, people have their things with angel numbers and stuff. But 111 was one that really just kind of stuck. Cool.
Yeah, for me, my number is 7 for a variety of reasons.
Yes.
So my first, middle, and last name all have 7 letters, and G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and all my first, middle, last names start with G. Okay. So that's mad sevens, and I was born on February 7th of 1997. Wow. So just like OD7. So ever since I was little, that was just my number, my soccer number, my favorite player's number, and so that's just always had like a significance to me.
What does it mean to you if you see it? Does it like make you think of something or like keep you in a certain headspace?
I feel like it's like they say like the lucky 7. I feel like 7 represents excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like adding that in as Ronaldo's number and being like arguably the best soccer player ever and seeing that on the back of his jersey, then me wearing it in mine, so through soccer. But then just like the idea of the lucky 7, or even like when you're like, like the roulette like emoji or whatever it is, like the casino emojis, like the 777.
Yes.
It just means like hitting the mark. So I don't know. I think it always just represented like a level of excellence to me. And then just having it so involved in like my birth, my name, really my birth, because the date, the year, and my names, and I'm just like 7's my shit. So it's like
that. Yeah, I kind of not so much of a number for me, but 777 has something I've seen also that I also think I did someone posted something, and I don't remember what it was about seeing like your life's past number, and there was some weird thing to do it, and it came out to being 7. Oh wow! So I feel that with the 7.
That's cool. That's fire. So To the Girls That Need It, as well as this book For the Love of Girls, a lot of it is about affirmations and like that self-love. If you want to speak a little bit about like what that journey has been for you and just like the importance that you put towards self-love, because you really are very consistent advocate about how important it is and like formulating your life. So
I would say my journey of self-love, I think it started with realizing I'm very big on inner child, like healing your inner child kind of thing. And I guess it kind of, it is. I feel like that's how we show up a lot in our daily life is our inner child. And I don't think people realize that. Like it kind of subconsciously comes out in everything that you do. And I don't know, I think that when I began to look at things my inner child needed as far as healing, it kind of fell into place where I realized how I was showing up in relationships or friendships or just life in general that kind of like nudged me to that like healing space where I had to look at myself. Because yes, at the same time, some people just aren't good to you, but at the same time, you have to look at like why you allow yourself to put up with certain things. It's a hard self-reflection that might hit home and you're like, ooh.
Amen.
You're
like, you know what I'm saying? Sure. No, I'm playing. But it's real. That shit's real.
Like, dang, like, ooh, I gotta do that. Okay, like, I'm gonna buckle down and get this healing going, Yeah. And that's why, like, it started off journaling for me. And I think with the whole reason why To the Girls I Need It started with, a heartbreak, that kind of spiked that. And I think it started with me just journaling. And then I just had a click in my head of like, what if I just started a page? I kind of wanted to do that and put it out there. I was scared to do that,
As you did.
Very vulnerable.
Shit out there. Yeah,
for
sure.
And then it kind of took off in a way. And then it just naturally led to me wanted to start a book. I was like, I want to write a book too. Like I always wanted to write a book, but like I didn't think it'd be a poetry kind of thing. So self-love is definitely important, especially if you want to become in alignment with everything that you want. Because if you don't have that self-love, you're not gonna know what to gravitate towards you. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. And then in terms of, part of self-love is also self-belief and kind of like, chasing your dreams and things of that nature, taking the risk of leaving your full-time job. Yeah. So what is like your kind of emotions around just like that self-belief and like faith in the next step? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I can definitely relate to that conversation for sure.
I would say, I guess it depends sometimes on, for me, I don't know. Okay. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I don't know if I would categorize myself as religious or just more so spiritual. Like, I don't feel like I grew up in a Christian household, but I don't feel like how I do things is like structured per se. It's more of like my personal relationship with God, I feel like. But it came to a point of like tapping into my intuition and like listening to what my body, my spirit was telling me in certain situations, which can take you such a long way. I feel like when people begin to ignore what they're feeling inside of like what to do, it kind of clouds like everything that you do. So when it came to like writing and my photography, I feel like I listened to, so for example, okay, so I went to school. I didn't go to school for photography or for writing.
Yeah, what did you go to school for?
I went to Temple for criminal justice.
Okay.
Yeah. And after I graduated, I didn't get a single job in that field. I applied to maybe over like 60 plus jobs after graduation.
What year did you graduate?
Last year.
Okay.
23. Yeah. Nothing at all. And the first job, the job I currently have, a photography based job, I got it.
Look at that.
So in the moment, it didn't really register to me, why I got that job out of all the other jobs that I applied to that I wanted to do at the time.
Yeah.
But I got that job. And I was still at some point applying to jobs in the criminal justice field. Mm-hmm. Nothing. I had a couple interviews. Didn't go anywhere.
Damn.
And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I want a job in this field, but it just wasn't working out that way. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward to maybe sometime this year, there was a job that I wanted so bad since I was a sophomore.
Oh, really?
And application was open. I applied. I heard back from them. I was ecstatic when they called me.
Yeah.
And then they broke down a lot of the job description, the hours, and I was like, oh no. I couldn't. And I just immediately felt like it didn't feel right to go forward with an interview and then going in person. Like I knew what I wanted to do and like how I wanted the freedom of being able to be creative when I wanted to, but those hours and things just didn't, it didn't align with me. So sure. I feel like if I wasn't as tapped into my goals and what I want to do, I wouldn't have realized like that didn't align at all. Got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. No, a lot of intuition in it. Yeah. I guess, how do you feel though, like about that next step and like, fuck it, let's ball. Like, what I mean? That shit coming up soon. Like,
what I mean? I wish I just want to be like, I quit, y'all. Not even the 2 weeks. I'm going. I don't know if I'm that bold to just do that, especially because I'm a mom and I have a daughter.
Yeah, so I gotta talk about that too, for sure.
Yeah. So I gotta provide for her too. So if it was just me, I might be more willing to just, all right, bye y'all, Yeah. But I can't do that. But I feel like I know, I don't want to sound cocky, but I know I'm talented.
That's not cocky.
I know I'm talented, and I know there's space for me. I'm just working my way to find it and find the right rooms for me to be in. That I trust the process that it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. I just have to, I feel like I have to trust myself enough that regardless, if I get to a point by the end of this year, early next year, that I do leave my job, that it's just going to fall into place. Yeah. Because there's more space for me to be creative without being in a job for 8 hours and get home.
It's a lot of time to pour into it. It's a lot of time to pour into it.
It's the flexibility that I need.
Yeah, especially because, photography things can be going on in the middle of the day. It allows you to move between Philly and New York a bit easier, too. If something's like on a Tuesday at noon sort of thing. So, no, that's... And even just the mental space of not having that full-time job. That whole bucket of area that you don't have to think about, those emails, those texts, those calls, those meetings. Yeah. Having to wake up at that specific time to get to... Just everything that is in that structure when you... kind of and it just releases and just opens up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. Especially like, already monetizing your passion and just knowing you could take it a step further.
Yeah.
Once you leave the job, I feel like it just
takes
and
off.
that's my goal with my shit too. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that because I'll be at work like, dang, like I don't
Why?
want to be here. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Like I'm on my phone like half the time.
Yeah.
On To the Girls That Need It or my photography page, like posting stuff, posting stories, like, and, that I'm at work knowing I got to do a certain amount of stuff at work, so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I want the freedom to just do that without a worry that someone's watching over me, because I don't want to pour into somebody else's business anymore.
Talk about it.
I want to pour into mine.
Yeah.
It's just that fear of like, am I going to make money to live, which is the hard and fun part about being a creative. I guess it's that thrill of like your next gig, your next job.
It's like it keeps you going. You feel alive. Like that shit is a fucking rush because there ain't shit guaranteed, bro. I'll tell you that much. Like
it is not. Yeah. Because I feel like I stay motivated when I get certain shoots. Because not long ago I did 2 shoots in a day where I made more than what I did do at my 9 to 5 in a week.
Wow.
In a day.
That's dope.
And I'm like, Congrats, it's those little reminders that I can do it. Yeah. It's just that consistency. It ebb and flows.
Yeah.
Which is the scary part.
Yeah. Like Nipsey Hussle said, dedication, hard work plus patience. Like that's what it is. Like you got to keep going at this shit, and I always just say it, but like you actually have to believe in yourself.
You do.
Not like a little bit, like you actually have to believe.
Your biggest
and with entrepreneurship and especially stuff in the creative world, whether it's, on my end, doing soccer media things, event hosting, photography, like you have to be willing to take a punch in the mouth. Yeah. Figuratively speaking, or maybe literally. maybe literally. Actually, because I had to break up a fight during the soccer tournament, so I had to be ready to take literally, like you have to be able to take that. Like my event yesterday, I was telling you that was my lowest turnout yet, which is fine. Like I've had, fully packed out, sold out ones. It's gone really well. Like it's grown faster than I would have expected. It's making more traction than I would have expected. Like I've exceeded my goals, but at the same time, that was a reminder of like you got to keep going.
How'd that make you feel? Was that being your lowest turnout? Did you feel kind of like, dang?
Definitely no, because you put so much time in it, you put so much effort in it, promotion, there's finances behind it too. So at the end of the day, when it feels like a flop, you're like, fuck, bro. And like you on like, they got like the DJ booth with the stage, and you like looking at the crowd kind of waiting for it to pick up, and it just and that's like, you just gotta know how to stomach that shit. That shit was yesterday too. Like this shit is fresh.
Yeah.
But you just gotta know how to stomach that shit and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but I always be like more proud of myself for anything than being willing to even put myself in that position to, you know what I mean? It's like people talk a lot about athletes, but it's like, nah, he's on the court, bro. He might have missed the shot, but he's on the court, and he was willing to shoot that shot. And you know what I'm saying? So, and again, it's like eventually, obviously, I can't have all of them super packed out. They're not all gonna sell out. So it really much, it is what it is. I've also doing 4 in a month, which is kind of crazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I know, when you be having them back to back.
Nah, I appreciate it.
Keep it up.
First time doing something like that. So I'm not taking it too hard or anything. But the point is like, you got to know how to stomach that and keep it pushing.
Yep.
Because as a photographer too, like some months, if you go full time, freelance, not gonna be as booked as the other one. You gotta take that shit, or you might have a client that's pissed off. More on like the social media. Oh damn, fact.
I'm like, what?
And then on the social media stuff, because like I know you promote your work a lot. You do To the Girls That Need It. For me, is 5-a-side media and Wavy Footy, and even promoting Vino as well. Is you can't be embarrassed to post. Like people are scared as fuck on social media, and people are like embarrassed to like share their passions, share their thing, and get it started because you're starting at 0, and people are scared of the perception of the fact that it's at nothing. And you gotta slowly grind and go crazy to get that step by step by step. But if I was, if you were scared of that, then you wouldn't have that book that you've published right in front of you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be having this event together. If I was scared of that, Vino Vriday would not exist. You know what I'm saying? 5-a-side media and Wavy Footy, which I do with my soccer guys, would not exist if we were scared of the perception of, and like they always say, like the best things in life are on the other side of fear. So you gotta get over it, and it gets back into like not judging others so that you don't judge yourself, and that you can kind of quiet out that noise.
Yeah.
Because on social media, we're all watching each other, especially in a city like New York. Everybody's doing the coolest thing you could ever think of, whether it's fucking fashion, art, music, like events, like, and you just gotta tunnel
vision
and just go and like just do it because you love it, do it because it's your thing, because it's an expression of you, and just keep it going. Because when you do that, people gravitate towards it, and I feel like I'm an example of that. You're an example of that. Obviously in Philly.
I love that for you though.
No, I appreciate it big time. So just a little bit of inspiration, yo. Just push through.
Yeah, my motto lately has been do it scared.
Do it scared.
Scared, because like you said, if I let fear hold me back from posting, and making To the Girls I Need It, this wouldn't be a thing. The page, like I think I was around maybe month 3 or so when I started To the Girls I Need It, and the reach was getting like 10K, 15, it got to like 90K, 200K, like, you know, engagement and views and stuff. And I'm like, yo, whoa. Like, I didn't expect that. Like, and the fact that so many people resonated with my words, people feeling like they felt seen by stuff that I said, or people saying like, I didn't think this could be put into words, but you put it into words for me. Thank you. Yeah. And I think in a moment like right now, I don't know what's going on with Instagram's algorithm. Yeah. But it dropped my reach so low.
Oh, damn.
Like from 200K, you know, views, now it's like 1,000, 2,000. I'm like, yo, I'm not doing anything wrong. Yeah. But I think it's in those moments that
that's
I'm
facts
grateful
too with social media shit. Yeah,
it happened because I feel like I didn't stop because of the low view count, which it lets me know like it means more to me than just the views. It's 100%. Like it's a personal like soul fulfillment 100%. That I want to see, you know, come to fruition, that I'm like, I'm not going to let the views stop me. Like, even though it can be disheartening sometimes that pour my heart out and then it doesn't reach anybody, I'm like, I want to keep going because it's what I want to do.
100%. Definitely can relate to that with Five Aside too. Because like our view count at some months, well, okay, I'll say we do have very high engagement. But there was times that it was a lot lower. Like we do have like several videos that have hit a million views. But the ironic thing is they weren't clickbaity soccer clips. They weren't the traditional kind of thing. Like one of them was when my friend had like a funny random trivia question about a former player. Like it's still randomest as shit. Actually can go the most viral. Not that we were even trying to go viral, but just like being engaging. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta stick through it. And like we've had our lower periods, like the follower growth's not growing as fast. And then that shit starts skyrocketing again too, you know? And then also YouTube is a very different platform than social media. So like we have, like you're always gonna have less subscribers than like TikTok followers. Yeah. Because just think about like TikTok people are just so loose with a follow. A subscription is like, all right, and we have over
dedicated.
And we have over 3K, which I'm like, damn, it's kind of crazy that 3,000 people are being notified when we drop an hour and a half of content. Like that's fire. But like you also can't expect your social media numbers to match your YouTube numbers because those are also different platforms. So that's a bit of advice as well for, you know, people making like video content and media. And
what has been the easiest platform for you to grow on, do you feel like?
Our TikTok's gone crazy. Yeah, I do think though IG followers, it's a better platform for ads, I think. And there's more like, an IG follower feels like a little more attached to you than a TikTok follower. I feel like TikTok, the follows are super loose. Because I'll post like a random video and just start getting followers, whether it's about soccer or about Vino, on TikTok. And I feel like an IG follow is less random. So the 10.5K on IG, I think is equivalent to like our 33K, whatever it is on TikTok. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like that follow means a little bit more.
That's what IG. I feel like the hard part when you create platforms like how we create them is that you have to make people care. Like, why do I care about following you? Like, you have to kind of be unselfish when you create your content. Of like, you have to build that like, relationship with complete strangers that are following you, so then you can then put out stuff that means stuff to you, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
They're not gonna care. Yeah. They don't really know you.
No, that's facts. No. Same thing like with my event is like, as much as I am doing it for myself in the sense of like, if I could just control what a night would look like, it is that. But I also still have to cater to the people are having a good time, you know? Because I can't do straight the exact music I would want to hear the whole night because I would get tired of all that Bryson party next door. You know what I'm saying? We're going to throw the Afro. You know, I like plenty of other music, of course. But I'm just saying, like, it can't be exactly what you want. And that's sometimes the delicate balance is like making sure you're being fully expressive, creative, and in yourself, but still allowing to like bring others into your world.
Your space.
Right? Like I could do a wine only event, but wine is just one of the many options. Some people have come to my events and never had a sip of wine ever, contrary to popular belief. Because I want to like bring wine into a different vibe, into a different space that it doesn't currently exist by age demographic, race demographic. Even as a country, like we don't drink wine in clubs like Europe does. I'm trying to kind of change that. That's like a long-term business goal. But I'm not like forcing the wine down y'all throat. Like, come drink water, kombucha. I don't give a fuck. Like,
I'll put this money to
come vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like that's a balance too. Is like expressing yourself, bringing your vibe to the table, but leaving room to not just like forcefully, you know, put it in their face too much either. Yeah. But that can also change by medium because like within music, that might be a little bit different. I feel like in that one, like as an artist, you really should be fully. You know what I mean? So it kind of also depends on your medium, your platform, like what you're doing. But it's definitely a balance, I think.
For sure, a balance.
Yeah. But speaking of balancing, you have to balance raising a child. So
yes.
I mean, Tell me everything. Like,
yeah.
How much time we got now? Playing by?
No, how much time?
Of course.
My goodness. I don't even know where to start with that. I feel like, so when I had her, I was in school full time. Well, when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was in school full time.
Yeah.
And I was working full time.
Lord have
and pregnant. Mercy. I did that shit. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I like to be like, that's I need to work.
Cheers to that, yo.
No, literally, because that was
cheers to motherhood. That's crazy.
No, cheers to motherhood for real.
Yeah,
because that was such a hard season where I think
that's
I don't
different.
know how I was balancing all that. I just was because I was like, I knew if I took a year off school, I wouldn't want to go back. You know, you get into that like quote unquote lazy mode where you're like, I'm out of school. I don't want to go back. I finished it. I walked across stage with her too. You know, she was almost 1 year old. Walked across stage with her. You know, she was asleep. But I was like, so funny. I had
Kids
to.
Don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. She was gone. But I was like, she was a big part of my college journey that, you know, I wanted to walk across stage with her.
That's beautiful.
And then, you know, still working full time. Now she's 2.5 years old. 2.5. Balancing though, I don't think I do. And sometimes I do. And then there's days where I just have no energy to show up sometimes. But I think with motherhood, you have to give yourself grace because it's not easy. Raising a kid, especially, I feel like at any age it's not, but being a younger mom, it's not because I don't think before I had her, I fully had that time to pour into myself and do all the things that I wanted to do before having a kid. Like I've always desired to be a mom. Not at that age, ideally, but it happened. And I think it's now at a point where I'm balancing me, at example, being here, doing stuff for my creative pursuits, and balancing, you know, being a mom where I'm like, motherhood's not the end all be all. And, you know, I don't like when society tries to portray the moms that once you have a kid, like that's all it is. You can't do anything for yourself.
Beyonce got kids. Let's stop.
Exactly. Rihanna too. She out here. Yeah. But I'm like, like you have to continue pouring into what you want to do because you were you before they came along. You know, and I just hate when people mom shame because of you're out doing XYZ. You're not with your kid. It's like we deserve breaks as well, and I wholeheartedly will take my break when I feel like I need it. And I do have a good support system as far as, family and stuff. So
that's good.
She's a handful, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like she has more energy than I can handle.
I'm sure.
So when it comes to, creative pursuits, is like when I'm home and I have to edit and she's all like, mommy. I'm like, oh my gosh, give me a second. Like give me a second. It is. So I sometimes, gotta put the TV on so she can sit still so I can get these edits done, send them to clients so I could, do whatever I gotta do. But I think it's just keeping in mind that what I'm doing is also for her and getting the lifestyle that I want, a lifestyle I want her to have, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, congrats to you because how much more could you possibly balance, honestly? That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm sure it drives you even more too in terms of, there's a lot of factors to motivate your pursuits, your career. But a physical version of yourself in front of you.
Right in front of you. Yeah.
Mommy every day. You gotta hustle differently, I'm sure.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah.
It's like, I want her to look at me and not feel like, I didn't do anything for myself. Because I want to set the example that whenever she gets to a point of having her own kids, if that's what she wants, that she sees that I can do me and also be a mom at the same time. And it's not one or the other.
Yeah. I think, too, is the reason that people actually have resentment towards their children is often because they did drop everything for their child. And all that does is ruin the relationship later on.
It does.
Because then you didn't treat them right as a child. You know what I'm saying? And then that affects how their, upbringing is. And then you see how that relationship is later on in life. So it's actually helpful for the kid. You know what I'm saying? To take care of yourself. It's the same thing in a relationship. Like you got to be happy with yourself before you
get into a relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Give it to the other person, even with friendship, whatever it is.
For sure. Yeah.
Kind of like the full circle thing of our conversation. Like it really is about that self-love and taking care of yourself to be the best for everybody in your life.
Yeah.
Brother, sister, mother, kid, whatever it is. So.
Yep. My dedication page in here is actually to her. Well, it's to my inner little girl and to her. So y'all read that if y'all purchase November 1st.
No doubt.
I'm like, all of what I do, I want her to feel like you know, mommy did this for me, and I feel like she can do the same thing.
No, it's fire.
Yeah.
For sure. Before we get out of here, though, last thing I got to talk about is just new age R&B. So obviously, you know, my favorite genre, a big part of Vino Vriday. Once again, Friday, October 25th in Philly, 7 to 10 p.m. at Indie Hall. Her beautiful pictures on display, as well as prints being sold, and I guess copies of the book potentially.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then the after party at the Winston Main Room, 11 to 2 a.m. Pull up. Philly, I don't live there. I used to live there, but I'm coming back for this, so don't miss it, yo. Tap in. But yeah, new age R&B artists and just like the modern R&B that you fuck with. Because the reason also I say this is because when it comes to R&B, and the reason I started Vino Vriday and everything was like, every time you hear R&B at a party, it's Usher, Keisha Cole, Fantasia.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's 2024. Yeah, I love it, but it's like no other genre when you see the name on a flyer, do you expect only that type of shit?
Yeah.
If you see hip hop on a flyer, you better hear some Lotto or whatever, or sexy, either something new, or like the sexy drill from Cash. You need something from 2024, at least 2020, whatever. You expect Drake and Drake and Kendrick and whoever, Future. But like you see R&B, people are thinking straight throwback, and I'm saying fuck that. New age R&B artists that you like.
Okay.
Obviously, our boy Bryson.
Oh,
how was the concert?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Fire?
Yeah, I've always been a Bryson fan. Like, he's my husband. He don't even know it.
He don't
even know it. But love me some Bryson. What? I write a lot to Bryson, actually. So a lot of the songs
that's tough.
I listen to when I write some Bryson songs. Right My Wrongs is probably one of them that kind of gets
that
me
shit's
in my
crazy.
bag.
That shit crazy.
So he inspires a lot of my music. But I am an old soul. I do love me some
inspires your music. You make music?
Nah.
Oh, I think you said it inspires your music.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, my writing.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't make music. No. Don't hit me up saying come jump on the track because I can't. But my writing, I mean to say. But
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm an old soul. I do love old school R&B throwbacks, but new age, obviously Bryson. I love Brent Fayez, Dylan Sinclair, Sabrina Claudio. I'm trying to think who else.
Summer Walker, SZA, Snow Allegra.
Yeah, Janae, of course. You know, yes.
Yeah, I mean that's in your name too, so
it is.
Kinda.
It is.
Yeah.
I wish it was spelled like her.
Yeah,
I like her spelling, but yeah.
For sure.
How about you?
Same artist that you mentioned. In terms of like lower key artists that are still kind of making their wave up, definitely Isaiah Falls.
Yeah.
Super fuck with him.
But I like Joey Badass. Was he? No, he's not R&B.
No, that's rap.
Okay.
That's definitely rap.
I'm not
but he does have some melodic singing songs, like kind of separate from his albums. Very talented artist, though. He's an underrated rapper to me. Joey Badass. He's incredible. I like him. And now definitely Isaiah Falls. I saw him perform at Baby's Alright in Brooklyn. Just very, very good live. Because a lot of singers, live ain't their forte, especially rappers. And I've been to a lot of concerts.
I'm like, yo, this is you?
Yeah, facts. So like, and that's one thing too that kind of the old heads say about R&B is like, oh, they don't know how to sing no more.
Yeah.
Nah, he can sing live. So fuck with him heavy. Ryan Trey is dope too. Another artist out of Toronto called Raheem. I saw him also at Baby's Alright in Brooklyn. He's done a song or two with Isaiah Falls as well. There's just so many artists.
Oh,
Chico Russ. Chico Russ is bringing back kind of that like bouncy early 2000s R&B vibe, and then like a little modern twist to it. He's a younger artist, so he's only like 21 out of Montreal, Canada.
Okay, go.
Fire. No, his shit is it's very like fun, lighthearted, and it's kind of that like relax, like kind of like walk up to the girl in the mall, kind of like corny, but like not too corny. Like it's nice though. It's nice, and I will say it's good to get some of that R&B back because it did get a little dark and moody for a while.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just so much talent out there. So.
I forgot AJ McQueen. I don't know if you listen to any of his stuff.
I don't think so. I'll check him out though.
I don't know how to describe it. He's a poet.
Yeah.
He's coming to Philly, I think, November 4th.
Okay.
I'm trying to go. I want to go. But like he's a poet also, but he raps. Sings.
Okay.
It's like that weird in between a rap sing, but it's like not hardcore. It's very soothing. So AJ McQueen, I love him. He inspires. I feel like his musical style is like kind of how I feel with my pictures. So if you were to hear an artist, I feel like my pictures fit that vibe.
And that's exactly what Vino Vriday is going to be with you. You know what I'm saying?
It is with your print.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, once again, pull up, listen to a very wavy mix of music, sip some wine, get to meet somebody new.
Buy for the lover girls. Y'all can get that. You know, you might want to get some tissues along with this stuff.
Yeah, so I appreciate you. It's mad full circle having you on the pod, then the event together. In fact, I used to live in Philly, and then I did the first thing with you in New York, and I'm going back to Philly for like, it's just the universe doing this thing, bro. I want to
say, this is your sign to shoot your creative shot. Because I came across your page on Instagram. I was just scrolling through hashtags, saw you, I DM'd you about your cameras.
Yeah.
And now here we are. We've done a couple things together, and now look, and my creative shot.
That's facts. And the first photographer I worked on with an event, shout out my homegirl Hebron, same shit. reached out that way. Shout out to my boy Cuddy, one of my favorite Vino DJs. He DJs like most of my events. He hit me on IG.
So
network
shoot your
people,
creative shot. Relationship and all, but creative will get you so far, y'all.
For sure.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cassidy. Appreciate it. Amazing conversation. And we'll see y'all in Philly.
See ya.